G'day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Duckville here with you. Where ya? I don't know what that means. What I do mean is we are going to watch a match from a recently released replay pack from one of your favorite specialist tacticians. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. You probably saw it in chat, but I'll introduce them GSL style anyway. We've got from fighting in Playhem, these particular sets of games came from. We're only going to watch this one. I can't be bothered doing the other two. They're very cheesy. It's on the top right-hand side, in the purple, from Team AI, I guess, is Cytoplasm. Of course, one of the key components of a cell, or perhaps a key component of the Zerg, maybe a very fitting name in this particular circumstance. On Daybreak, he is his opponent down here in the bottom, as mentioned, the specialist tactician who will no doubt bring us something interesting here. I am sure of it. It is TtWhiteRa, and we'll have to, find out if he's going to do something special or if he's going to do something standard and make it special. He does have the tendency to do that. Of course, I'm sure some people would have seen the recent match on TtWhiteRa's channel where he did a mothership rush in a PvT against, I think it was Cars, and recalled into his main across the natural and past all the defenses of the natural. It is one of the most breathtaking things I've ever seen. It was just hilarious. But anyway, we'll find out what TtWhiteRa is going to do today. I actually kind of feel bad because I haven't actually done too much TtWhiteRa stuff. In fact, the last game that I think I did a cast of with TtWhiteRa in it was TtWhiteRa versus Flo from an MLG quite a while back. I believe it was Anaheim. I'm going to say Anaheim 2011 sometime, not sure. Either way, we'll see how he goes today. His opponent has started out with a very quick pull, not a super quick pull, I should say. It's a reasonable pull. That went down, I don't know the exact timing, I think it was around about 14 or so. But either way, he did not get to put the hatchery down. He is going to put it down at the third base, of course, back at home for TtWhiteRa. Got the wall started, of course, with the Forge, the Nexus just going up as we saw there, and we'll probably see him proceed to wall across the rest of this little bit here. As you can tell, I'm a little bit jazzed. I've actually had a tasting of fairy floss, or that's what we call it down here in Australia. If you're from the States or other regions, I think it's called cotton candy. That's what it is, yeah. Cotton candy. The first time I've ever actually had it, it was pretty crazy. I ate a whole bag of it, so I'm pretty buzzed right now. Sugar is a pretty crazy thing. So, yeah, everything reasonably standard. TtWhiteRa did not block the natural here with a pylon. Of course, he didn't want to spend too much more minerals or anything trying to block off that. Cytoplasm doing a good job, just scouting around with a couple of lings, making sure there's no crazy pylons being placed around the map to put any cannons down or anything like that, or be used for a possible proxy attack later on. TtWhiteRa, very diligent, that's a new word as well. We're creating words here, left, right, and center. Very diligent with the probe, goes in, has a quick look, sees what's going on. Did he see? You didn't see the natural, you can assume it's there. The queen wandering down, waddling her way over here to the, what is technically the natural, but it is, of course, we're going to call that the third base. Probe is going to escape. I think Lings are just a tiny bit faster, and he may get caught on the corner of something right here. In fact, the Lings are actually going to catch him right about now. There you go, bam, goodbye, Mr. Probe. So he didn't get home, unfortunately for him. TtWhiteRa, however, does have a cannon up, has a little pathway, a beautiful pathway here. Personally, I'm still really against fast expanding on this map. I know a lot of people will probably hate me for that, but I really don't like doing it. Just because it can be a little bit frustrating to wall this off sometimes. If you get a bit of practice, of course you certainly can, but I like doing a one-base play on this just to make the Zerg opponent a little bit scared. But Cytoplasm is just chugging along as normal, as a Zerg would normally do on this map, taking the 3 bases quite quickly. He does have a gas up, so he is going to get the Zergling speed in short time, or perhaps grab a very quick lair. We'll have to find out in a moment. He is up to a total of 33 drones at the moment. He's going to have a couple more popping out. We just had a bunch of them just then. Overlord popping out to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked at any point along this very droney path. and he's going to have, you know, 7 more about to just pop out, and there you go. So he's really pushing the limit there with that droning. In fact, so much so that a Zealot has wandered across the map and has gotten inside the natural mineral line here. Amazing micro there from Cytoplasm, getting 2 of the drones that were very hurt out of the way. He will need to keep them at bay, sort of just behind at the moment. The Zealot just sort of reaching back into that mineral line there, and wow, that is fantastic stuff. Units lost from TtWhiteRa just there was of course that Zealot, and he has lost a probe. Units lost was 1 for Cytoplasm in that little push there. I think that may have been a scouting drone or something along those lines, but that was fantastic stuff. I'm actually really impressed by that. Just look at that, just no workers killed, just a couple of units, and that's it. That was really good there from Cytoplasm. But Stalker's come along. It's a Stalker's turn to play now. He's going to take a few shots at this Queen. The shields go down on that Stalker. Needs to retreat for just a moment to regen some of those shields. Of course, the Lings that were a little bit hurt from that Zealot attack, so he will need to be careful with how he pushes through with those. But the Stalker, for the meantime, has retreated down to the Xel'Naga Watchtower, and drones are being produced aplenty here. 7 are on the way, so he is really going to start hitting that very sexy point for a Zerg, where you got all of these drones available. 66 at the moment. I think he's going to settle on around about that number for now, making sure that he's got enough defenses. We'll need to get a Roach Warren up pretty soon, I would say, but he has picked up gases 4, 5, and 6, and I'm just going to turn my phone alarm off. There we go. So he is going to go for some mutas very quickly here, and of course this map can be fun for mutas. You do have to be very careful with how you play it out. Of course, you will need to scout out exactly what's going on inside the Protoss side of the map, but Cytoplasm has encountered a few units here at the bottom middle base, so you will need to try and pick off some of these sentries if possible, but he's not going to have a hope in hell of actually getting that done. Some more warping in now, so TtWhiteRa is going to go for an attack on the 3rd base. No doubt no roaches will be available for Cytoplasm. He hasn't even started the Roach Warren, so no sort of defense is going to be available in that regard, but he will have quite a lot of Lings. If the Lings can at least hold up some of this attack, then he should be able to get a couple of mutas out, and some mutas along with the rest, like the rest of the Lings on the ground, should be able to deal with this, but we'll have to find out in a minute. Back at home for TtWhiteRa, he is up to 8 gates. There are so many gates available to warp in units. As we can see, a Prism is also coming along to make sure that reinforcements are very prompt and right on the money. And in fact, speaking of right on the money, Cytoplasm has retreated for the moment. He's sitting back at home, getting all of his drones out of there, wants to keep those babies alive for a little bit longer. But the 3rd base has been destroyed. Immortal, Sentries, and Stalkers. This is one of those very, very deadly pushes that's coming along, which has gained a lot of popularity after figuring out that this was one of the best ways to deal with a Stefano style. And here we go. Cytoplasm is going to try and engage from both sides, bringing in the Lings from the left, and then the drones and spines from the right. And the mutas have hatched, so the mutas will definitely help turn the tide unless they are focused down, and TtWhiteRa is doing a great job trying to pick them off, but the Stalkers have been whittled down in numbers. The Sentry's gone, or almost gone. The Warp Prism is definitely gone, and I think that'll be the end of this attack. So we'll have a look at the casualties after this in just a second. We're just seeing these mutas clean up the rest of the forces here, and as we can see, those guys, the prawns with wings, are going to do their job and get away safely. Some Stalkers down the bottom side have made sure that this 3rd base does not get rebuilt quickly. The Observer just keeping an eye on that as well. The casualties of that battle, we do see that TtWhiteRa has gotten a ton of drone kills, not to mention forcing some of those drones to turn into some spines there. And weirdly, TtWhiteRa was trying to attack his pylon so he could get some units outside the base, but that has actually opened up the door a little bit here. Now with the Stalkers caught outside, they do not have Blink. No Blink upgrade has been researched just yet, so TtWhiteRa is going to be in a little bit of trouble if these Mutalisks start bouncing around inside the main base, and of course down at the natural as well. They can just quickly flutter across from one side to the other, so TtWhiteRa will need to be very careful with how he positions these Stalkers. And as we can see, there are more mutas coming on the way. There are 7 in production. Blink has finally started. The pylon that was across here is being taken out, along with another one across to the side. TtWhiteRa will also see see that the third base has been restarted here by AiCytoplasm. So AiCytoplasm is just going to, he's sort of, I don't like the fact that he's sitting here on these 47 drones. It's not the most sort of comfortable of positions. There he goes. He is going to get 5 more. We got some more overlords on the way as well to make sure he doesn't get blocked, and more mutas starting to hatch here. So he is going to try and get that economy back up and running, but I think he really needs, as soon as this gets up, this needs to be saturated as fast as possible, because TtWhiteRa is now going to be sitting on his own third base very soon, depending on how he defends this. There are going to be a lot of lings to come through on the ground and try and take out as much of those buildings as he can. However, the mutas now coming into effect as well. Beautiful positioning. Actually, TtWhiteRa not too bad with his positioning there. Unfortunately, there are just not enough stalkers to defend this spot, and the mutas will take most of the stalkers down. They will be forced back. A few more have come into the battle. Blink still just being researched at the moment. Plus 1 to weapons is done for the stalkers. So TtWhiteRa does defend this base for the moment, and he will be able to put up some more buildings here to sort of really choke off this point, and he's actually going to deny an attempted 4th base down at the bottom right hand side from AiCytoplasm. So TtWhiteRa keeping his cool, knowing that the mutas are out on the map. We've got Blink Tech now. He can really defend against those mutas a lot more efficiently than he normally would have been able to, so he's going to need to keep an eye on where these guys are around the map. He should be able to see them floating in right about now. Some of the probes transferring out, and very good reactions from TtWhiteRa, getting as many of them out as he can. Some stalkers warping in. Meanwhile, we do have an attack at the third base. Again, AiCytoplasm is going to lose this one. This is not going to survive too long. The Zealots will be able to clean up the drones, the Queen, and everything that was left here. However, a couple of pylons being taken down by TtWhiteRa. I do not like that he only had 2 pylons powering the 6 gates and the Twilight Council, but he is going to not have any way to reinforce just at the moment. He's going to try and rebuild some of these pylons as quickly as he can. The Stalkers just sort of being a very cowardly sitting at the back there, but the mutas trying to target down this Nexus. Will they get it? I think they will be able to. However, if they continue this, they will be suffering quite a lot of losses. And here he goes. Nice micro to get the Nexus down. Is it going to be worth it, though? We'll have to find out very soon. Of course, TtWhiteRa does have the third base. He's sitting on a total of 46 probes, so quite a lot were lost in the engagement here with the Stalkers, and a few more that were rallied in are also going to be lost, but more probes being lost down at the natural expansion. So TtWhiteRa losing probes all over the place. The good thing that he has in this game is that he has kept AiCytoplasm to 2 bases himself. He's on 65 drones, which is a very nice number for 3 bases, of course. You want to try and have something around that number, or at least something similar to that number on those 3 bases, but there are Mutalisks actually badly rallied around the map. There we go, he's starting to move a couple of those out, but you know, I'm sort of wondering, is the units lost? Let's have a quick look at that. 129 units lost in total. The resources is actually very interestingly identical at the moment. Of course, we've lost a couple of hatcheries, we've lost all sorts of numbers of mutas around the map, and of course a lot of those lings that were around too. So TtWhiteRa still keeping himself in this game. He is going to get a Dark Shrine as well. We can see that warping in somewhere. It's somewhere on the map, I can guarantee you that. He is going to get a Dark Shrine and then utilize the DTs. Of course, you can use those for hidden attacks on a hatchery or a drone line or something like that. But AiCytoplasm switching back into attack mode with these mutas. They do have +2 on their weapons, so they're doing quite a lot of damage with that Glaive Worm. 11 on that first strike, then bouncing across to the rest of the units as well. And the Stalkers cleaning up a 4th base. This is TtWhiteRa doing a fantastic job of keeping things even. It's like it's a very weird sort of base race where we've got these guys just saying, you know what, you're not going to mine from this one because I'm going to take it down, and you're going to be able to take mine down as well. But just looking at the way this is positioned at the moment, if TtWhiteRa can continue to keep these Stalkers alive, keep some of this tech that he has back inside his natural alive, he should be sitting in a very good spot. And once those Archons come out, these mutas are going to have no chance at all to stay alive. And I have no idea what this drone party is doing. Someone gave them the wrong address to go down to the club, because they have just rocked up in the wrong place, and it gets sent back home by the Stalkers. In fact, home being death. So AiCytoplasm losing quite a few of his drones there. I don't know if he was trying to go for something or use those for offensive spines or something random like that, but he certainly did not need to lose those. He's now really oversaturated on this natural expand. The main is pretty much dead. The third base is still only just being re-established now as well, so TtWhiteRa is, I would say he's in a very comfortable position right now. You could in fact say he's in a very winnable position. In fact, I would actually, yeah, I would pretty much say he's in a very, very good position, and he should be able to take this one down. Cytoplasm is going to go for a last-ditch effort. He has no infestors, but what he is going to do is try and get a whole bunch of banelings out. We've got all these lings on the ground. There's a total of 83 in that big group of them at the moment. Baneling Nest has started centrifugal hooks and is already halfway done. For TtWhiteRa, DT's now warping in. These guys will definitely make or break this if they get some, if they're able to just get inside, take some of the drones down, deny the third base again, then a Cytoplasm, it will definitely be out of this one. It will have this last possible bastion of hope with all of these banelings and the lings that are in this big group, and the mutas, of course, up in the air. But I think, given that the third has been denied so many times and these DTs are about to do it again, here we go. Hatchery completes, and then good night, sir. He does have +2 on the weapon, so they should be able to take this. I don't think the mutas are going to be fast enough, or are they? Yes, they are. 207 health left, just in time. Overseer coming across, looking down with his glass eye, and denying those DTs the satisfaction of a kill there on the hatchery. Another DT down at the fourth base is going to keep things sort of very sort of interesting down here, because TtWhiteRa is... oh, he's not going to be able to deny the drone, or is he? No, he's not. Gets surrounded. Lings take down the DT, and that is going to be the for the moment. But Archons, as I said, Archon's a very powerful unit when you're facing against a match of Ling, Baneling, and Muta. Of course, the Archons soaking up a lot of the Baneling damage if need be, doing splash damage, currently doing 43 splash damage to the Lings, the Banes, and the Mutas, of course, so they will be doing quite a lot of work there. And TtWhiteRa is going to try and expand up to the top side. The probe that was up there getting taken down. One Ling is going to be the bane of existence of this Nexus. I'm not even sure if that's going to survive too long, because the mutas are on the way up to the top of the map, and they are going to get rid of this Nexus. So TtWhiteRa, what is he going to do? He needs to just keep his calm. I mean, he's in a very good position. The third base has finally gone up here for Cytoplasm, so he is going to be able to get some better mining going. He's sitting on 56 drones at the moment, which is not a fantastic total, but it's better than having no mining available. But here we go, battle time perhaps. Mutas flying over the top of the Stalkers and the Archons. Not the best use of those fellas, I tell you what. Gonna have to resupply some of those. He does, got 8 more on the way. TtWhiteRa is still sitting on these very comfortable 3 bases with 55 probes at the moment. He's got +3 on his weapons now. The Zealots do not have charge or anything like that, but with the Stalkers, with Blink, Archons, and their huge damage to bio units, he is going to be in a great position. As we saw there, a Zealot attack down at the third, getting rid of that once again, and TtWhiteRa is even going to get the 4th for perhaps the last time that he's going to need to kill a base, because from now on, he can actually just sort of sit back and just say, you know what, come at me, bro, because I've got all this cool stuff. We got lasers, we got cotton balls here, and we got Zealots on the ground as well. So he's looking very nice. Long distance mining here for Cytoplasm. As I said, it's a very troublesome spot for him right now. Researching +1 to the Carapace is not going to help out at all. The Infestors are really what he needs. I would really love to see him pop out quite a few of those, because they would be great against dealing with the Stalkers on the ground, denying them the blink opportunities. But here he goes. He's actually going to try and push through the top, or is he? Couple of force fields there from TtWhiteRa, getting mowed down by the Archons, saying no to force fields. And here we go, trying to just blast through with the Banelings. He's trying to get on top of the Stalkers, but the Archons in the way. There are some good Baneling hits there, taking down quite a lot of the supply of TtWhiteRa, down to 91, 90. Oh, you've warped in some more units, so he should be okay. A lot of the Stalkers surviving. He's got a total of, I think that's around about 15 left over. Nope, more of them going down. These mutas now, with their +2, will be doing a nice amount of damage to the Stalkers, especially when they're grouped up like this. But is it enough? I think it may be too late, given that he's already lost these bases and still has only just gotten this one re-established now. So TtWhiteRa is in this commanding lead still. He's going to be able to crank out some more upgrades. We've got +1 to weapons, +1 to armor on the way. Templar Archives also coming through for him, sniping off random mutalisks that get a bit too far in their duty. and he is going to be able to get the rest of the more and more Lings now pouring through. That is all Cytoplasm has to throw at TtWhiteRa. It is not going to be enough. Nice little bit of micro here from TtWhiteRa to keep all of these Stalkers alive, and I think that will be it. He's going to be able to just clean up the rest of these, but Cytoplasm at the mineral line here does take down a few of the probes. Not too bad, keeping TtWhiteRa lower in that in the worker count. He's still at 48, so that's not actually a huge amount, but one lonely DT is going to get inside this base here. He may just try and go for drones here. That may be better than going for the hatchery because he'll get more kills that way, and he does indeed. Takes down 3 that are in the extractor, getting a 4th or 5th. Is he going to be able to handle these Lings? I don't think so. Too many of those guys, and he gets taken down, but that gives TtWhiteRa a bit of time to re-establish this position here. We're going to get a pylon, perhaps a couple of cannons, and then he'll be in just in Windtown population TtWhiteRa, and I am sure that we'll probably have to see a GG very soon from Cytoplasm. I really don't see a way he's going to come back here, but he will try his best. Of course, this is Playhem from the Playhem set that TtWhiteRa uploaded recently on his Facebook. You can catch it there if you jump on to that page. Denying the 4th again. DT's worth their weight in gold at the moment, or perhaps in minerals, doing a really good job keeping a good amount of map vision for TtWhiteRa, and also denying these bases. Cytoplasm, what can he see? He's got this Overlord just hanging over the 4th base, knows that there is really good mining going on here, but what is he going to do about it? There are now cannons going down at that base, so he should be fine to keep that up. There was, I believe, that was another little attack, no, I'm not sure, down at the 3rd base of Cytoplasm, but back inside his main. Would really like to see TtWhiteRa try and get, oh, no, actually, I was going to say, we'd love to see a DT try and sneak through into the main to take down some of the tech, but I don't think that's going to happen. There are a whole bunch of angry-looking spine crawlers here that are going to poke away at anything that comes in range, and with the Overseer there to provide detection, it is not going to be a fun time. Somebody is going to lose an eye. But now, what do we got? Cytoplasm trying to get a little bit of a read on what TtWhiteRa has left over. Oh my god, could you imagine saying what TtWhiteRa has left over when you're drunk? It's bad enough. I'm trying to say that right now. But here we are. He's got a little bit of a view of what's going on. Saw that there are a whole bunch of Archons. Should have seen that the Templar were there as well. Stalkers also in this group. And TtWhiteRa really starting to beef up, making that really, really deadly anti-muta, anti-ling based force. Of course, you've got a lot of Archons for tanking and dealing with the Lings and mutas, as we said, and also the Templar Storm being a perfect deterrent for massive amounts of Lings and mutas that are clumped up, as we can see here. So now the Infestor's finally starting to pop out. Not sure why he's researching the neural parasite at the moment. I don't think that's really too needed just at the moment, because he's really, if he's going to neural parasite, all he's going to neural are these Templar, the Archons, and you know, while that's very nice, of course the Stalkers may be able to blink on top of the Infestors and then just take them out anyway. But Storm is on the way. Some good feedbacks should be able to handle that as well for TtWhiteRa. So, unit count at the moment, we've got, hang on, let's just have a look at that one. We got the Army Supply for Cytoplasm on 78. He's still quite far behind where TtWhiteRa is right now. 98 for TtWhiteRa, and here we go. It looks as if he is going to go in for a final push. Some fungal growth going down from Cytoplasm. Catches some of the Zealots. Nicely done. Gets rid of some of the shields, but not really too much else. And with the loss of those Infestors, that means that he's going to have a lot less available to utilize in his defense. And now a Greater Spire being constructed. So he's perhaps going to try his best to buy some time to get to that very deadly mix of Infestors and Broodlords, but catching the Infestors out there, that is definitely going to be it, because now with no Infestors to stop those Stalkers from blinking through, the Archon's going to march across, the Zealots just behind them, putting across the Pimp Fist is TtWhiteRa, and says, no buddy, not going to have this base. I think that is the 5th time this base has been killed by TtWhiteRa, and it is going to turn into a little bit of a base race, but I don't know how well that is going to go for Cytoplasm. He's going to lose some of the Lings here when he attacks into this base. It is well protected by cannons. A Templar warping in, not sure what good that is going to do, because of course you can't storm straight away without that Kaideran amulet, but the mutas will be able to clean through the rest of this, and with the 4th base gone, TtWhiteRa knows he can just head back. We're all cool here, head back and take care of these mutas, and the game is done. Sitting at 169 supply is TtWhiteRa, Cytoplasm at 75, and I would say Oh, no, he's actually just going to head straight through. Going to bring these Zealots across as well. This is a big, big force of units here for TtWhiteRa. What is at home for Cytoplasm to defend? We got some Spies. We got a couple of Queens. There are Broods morphing here. We will have 6 of them. And actually, well, I was going to say that, you know, that could certainly help out, but I doubt it's going to. And now TtWhiteRa losing this third base mining. Here's some Stalkers coming along. Should be able to help out with defending that. And there is a beautiful storm right on top of the Mutas. In fact, the second storm going down. The Mutas just marching straight into that. And that is going to be the end of that attack. Meanwhile, the Broodlords doing what they can to defend the Spine Crawlers. A good, nice little deterrent on the ground. But with so much on the ground here for TtWhiteRa, he's just going to be able to just roll all over this. And roll he does like a roly-poly, and just marching through. The Stalker's not even being microed at the moment, but GG, well played from Cytoplasm. So TtWhiteRa takes this one. A very nice game. Nicely controlled tempo by TtWhiteRa to deny those the third base, the fourth base, time and time again, despite losing some of his own units and buildings and structure and workers back home, I should say. He was able to keep a good rhythm with the game there, denying his opponents while losing some of his own stuff. Obviously not the most proficient way to play the game, but if you're going to be able to do it, then certainly do it. So hope we all learned something there from TtWhiteRa, the master of the special tactics, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll catch you all next time.